Coulthard.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Coulthard.
That is the best music for Formula One.
But what a great version by the Skinnerettes.
That was
Tremendous.
absolutely fantastic. I still listen to it from time to time just to remind myself.
Yeah, do you really?
Yeah, of course.
Do you play when you're racing? Do you have a CD player? But do you have when you? Because I have to. Can I admit from the front, I know very, very little about Formula One.
Me too.
Yeah, no, you
You
don't.
let me pay me for it as well. That's amazing.
But I'm going to. If I show my ignorance tonight, just be gentle with me, right? Because I mean, could you have a CD player in the car during a race and play music? That's a reasonable. There's people looking at me saying, "Yes, that's a good question, man. And we want to know."
No, of course you couldn't. It's a racing car.
I know it's a racing car, but they're very small nowadays.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be good for that? Imagine that.
No, we have a radio connection to the team, and they talk to us as we're going around the circuit, so they keep us up to speed with the strategy, if we have to stop that lap, if the weather's coming, there's going to be rain, if, you know, they keep us informed, so there's always someone talking in my ear.
Do they have horns, the cars?
No, the drivers are known to be a bit horny, but not...
This is what I hear about you racing drivers. You're all crazy, womanising playboys. Is that fair?
No, that's not at all. I've got a lovely girlfriend, Simone, who manages to understand the business and the travelling and all the work that goes into it. Previous to my current girlfriend, I had a couple of kiss and tells. You know that situation where you meet someone in a bar, you think it's just a normal situation, before you know it, it's in the newspapers. But the good thing is...
Isn't there a bit in between?
There's a bit in between. But the good thing is that apparently, they'll say that you did whatever you were supposed to have done, and 9 times out of 10 it's actually true. But they never say you're bad at the business. They'll never say the bit that went on that you can't talk about. They always say you were great, you were 5 times, you were every position, that whole thing.
But don't they? Maybe you're just very, very good at it, and that's why you get good reviews.
Yeah, alone I disappoint myself. It's not that.
I mean, I've been to the British Grand Prix once at Silverstone. There was fabulous women everywhere you looked. We've got a picture of you with 2 very, very lovely ladies, and look, it's the cheeky girls.
There you go.
You don't look that happy, actually.
She's not as light as she might look.
No, they're all lead lines, the cheeky girls. But the sister looks like some terrible raven looking at her. I can imagine she goes, why doesn't David pick me up?
Yeah, they look good from afar.
No, I read a thing. No, I read that when you were a youngster, and this is something you'll have to explain to me, you used to lie on a pool table with your head off the end of it.
Yeah. To
strengthen your neck muscles. Now, I don't really get why a racing driver has to have a really strong neck.
Okay, well,
Is it really complicated?
No, it's not at all complicated. You really know nothing about racing.
No, I said that at the beginning.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Do you have an air freshener?
Can you imagine
from the...
Are you familiar with gravity?
Yeah.
Okay. In a racing car, we go through corners at obviously very high speed, and we have wings on a car which operate in the opposite way to an aircraft wing. A racing car, the wing is the other way around, so it pushes the car into the ground. So you can go through the corner quicker, you can go faster. So what you end up doing is you create more gravity. Not create more gravity, but you create G-forces up to 5 or 6 times gravitational force. So your neck, sorry if I'm losing you here.
No,
your neck is designed to hold your vast brain.
Yes.
On Mother Earth, and that's all it has to do. Well, if I take you and spin you around and round and round in circles, eventually your neck... is going to start to give out. So a racing driver needs a strong neck because you're strapped in the racing car. Do you mind?
No.
In that sort of position. And you know, the forces in the corner pushing your head like 6G. So you have the weight of your head, the weight of the crash helmet, your neck has to sustain that force. So I'm in the corner doing that. It's not very pretty.
Really? You're doing that for the whole...
No.
Get a headrest. We'll be back with more from David Coulthard.
No, but surely it must have been more a little pop with a follow-through. It couldn't have been a proper... But I know drivers who do it every race on the grid.
That's before they've started.
Yeah, but you're drinking, you know, we can drink up to like 5-6 litres of fluid before the Grand Prix, and after a Grand Prix I can lose up to 2 kilograms of body weight, just in fluid. So we're severely dehydrated after a race. It's much more difficult than you think it looks.
Yeah.
It's not all, you know...
Isn't it basically driving? But fast.
It is, but there's physical forces on the body.
So people would sit there and just wet themselves before the race started?
Some would, I don't.
But if you're dehydrating, you shouldn't need to do it, should you?
Yeah, but if I told you to drink 5 litres of fluid now and then hold it for the next hour and a half, then you'd find that quite tricky. I'm sure they must have it in other sports. Like, what do they do in triathlons? They must have to stop for a pee.
Well, we had Paula Radcliffe on, and she did 2 poos during the last Olympic marathon. No, she did. During the race, yeah. Because she said... She did! She said that she got stomach cramps, so she had a poo, and then she carried on running and got him again and had another one. Didn't stop running. She's focused.
No, but surely it must have been more a little pop with a follow-through. It couldn't have been a proper... You know... Well, it couldn't have been a...
We're not talking a... No, we're not talking a 3-turner. No, but even...
She would have had a magazine or something under her arm. You know, Runner's Weekly.
Now, one reads about a bit of a rivalry between you and Michael Schumacher. Now, is that the kind of thing that the papers have just made up, or is there a real rivalry?
Of course, there's a rivalry on track between all your competitors. You know, I've had some run-ins with Michael, and you know, one of the races, I gave him a little signal from the car, which I realised wasn't probably the most polite thing to do on television, but I was frustrated because his driving was quite aggressive.
You know, it's funny you should say that. Because one imagines that drivers can't really communicate when they're out on the track together, but you find a way around it.
Yes.
In no respect. So this is David just communicating with Michael Schumacher.
And David really saying, hey, I'm coming after you. But I think he was pushing his luck a little. It was, yes, do that one more time, he says.
I think that's a Nescafe moment, isn't it?
Well, the first thing he went like that, and he said, yes, he's saying one more time. I thought, no, he really isn't. He really isn't. We have a clip from the Belgian Grand Prix, 1998.
Right. Okay.
Now, see, as an outsider, I watch this, and I think, well, you know, that's the bloke behind's fault. But we'll see how you explain this. It was, I should explain for the non-Grand Prix types amongst us that you're in the black McLaren car, and Michael Schumacher is in the red Ferrari.
Let us not forget that David Coulthard in these appalling conditions. Oh, God! Michael Schumacher hits David Coulthard and is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. Maybe he should have been a bit more circumspect about trying to pass him, but he is out.
What can I say?
I don't know if applause is the right response, is it?
Yeah. It got messy afterwards. He came into the... We both went back to the pits, obviously, because our cars were damaged. And I just get out of my car, and I've still got my helmet on, and he comes running into the garage, shouting, you know, were you trying to kill me? And obviously, you know, he's got his helmet off, and I'm thinking, well, if he's going to put a punch on me, I think I've got a good chance here. I'm wearing a crash helmet. You know, and I'm definitely not a fighter, but I thought, I can take a punch, and then maybe a headbutt. And... But anyway, thankfully, they pulled him away, and we you know, spoke about it afterwards, and it was all sorted out.
Mm. Is it true that you've never had a 2-week holiday?
No. You know, when I think of a holiday, I think of doing nothing. Mm. But I just can't bring myself to do it, so...
Well, maybe a driving holiday.
You know, I hate driving.
Do you?
Oh,
How
driving on the road would just drive me to distraction.
But do you drive?
I probably do about, I'm just guessing, but probably 2,000 miles a year on the open road.
But you must get a bit... When people pull up at traffic lights, they look across and there's David Coulthard. They must be thinking, right...
I had it today, actually. When I was coming down to the airport to fly to London, there was a couple of guys, I was in traffic and I kind of sauntered past, and you get the classic people looking over. And it was a couple of guys, and they were in stitches. I don't know why they were in stitches, but they were pointing and giggling and laughing. And I don't know who was steering the car, because we were both sitting in the front and their hands were like this. You know, they were doing all that. So, yeah, no, it gets weird reactions.
I mean, how's your parking, for example?
My parking's all right, yeah. I drive a little smart car.
You do not drive a smart car.
I drive a smart. It's a great car.
And you wonder why the other guys was laughing. Look, before you go, I just want to... As I say, I am a bit of a novice to Formula One, but I watched a bit of driving, and I thought, that is great driving. And I just thought it'd be nice to end on that. And this is you in the black McLaren again, and Michael Schumacher again in the red Ferrari.
They were at each other's throats.
Look, James, sorry to interrupt. Look, but this time David is going to get up the inside, surely. Yes, he is. And now he's got track position. He'll run Michael out. That was super stuff from Coulthard. He made Schumacher have to lift off.
What about that? David, I will be looking out for you next season. It's been great talking to you. Ladies and gentlemen, David Coulthard.